Hello, it's been a while since last we chatted, and I for one have missed it. It feels good to be making a video again and to be back in my hobby area. I kind of feel like in 2020 I've been fighting this Hydra. You see, every time I chop off one head or problem, two more seem to sprout from its neck. Oh look, a Hydra from WizKids. This looks like quite the appropriate model to get back into the swing of things. You see, today's video is going to be a little different than what I typically show on Table Ready Gaming, and it serves two purposes. First, I need to get back in the saddle, back to used to shooting video, painting on camera, recording audio, and all the other stuff that comes with making a YouTube video. Second, there's been a few things that have been happening, and I feel like I really should speak on them. So think of this more as a hobby fireside chat with everyone. And I thought building a model would be a lot more fun to watch than my talking face. So what got me thinking about this video is that in life, we make plans. And I believe that the best plans are simple plans. But we shouldn't fool ourselves by thinking just because a plan is simple, that it will be easy to accomplish. But once we start implementing that plan, we find things just don't always go the way we want. And even our simple plans just don't survive. Sometimes a plan is so simple, it seems almost foolproof. For example, I plan to make videos about a hobby that I absolutely love and post them on the internet. I already have a camera, a mic, lights, and a backlog of gray plastic. Shoot, I even have a teleprompter. I mean, honestly, what more could I need? For me, 2020 has been a year of simple plans simply not surviving. And I don't think I'm alone. The first thing that killed my simple plan of posting fun hobby videos was losing my job due to the layoffs from a COVID-19 outbreak. In my experience, nothing kills creativity faster than being under constant financial strain. But please, don't feel sorry for me. COVID has affected me a lot less than other people. And honestly, I consider myself very lucky to be in the situation that I'm in. And I hope the message of this video is far more valuable than a simple pity party. You see, one of the benefits of simple planning is the ability to adjust a simple plan on the fly and then continue on to your goal. My simple plan called for a simple adjustment. Just take a few weeks off and use the time I was using to make videos to work on finding a new job. Job hunt complete. New job acquired. In fact, better job acquired. We are back on plan. Well then, a pipe broke and flooded my hobby space. Damn it. That plan was a bust. Plan B was hosed. It was time for Plan C. I'll be honest, my simple plan was no longer looking so simple or easy, and in truth was quite depressing. Honestly, I felt like giving up. While these events have been stressful for me, it would have been much worse if I didn't have a support group that I have today. When times get tough, it's good to know I have people who care about me and want the best for me. For me, gaming has been a big part of my life, and is basically responsible for every friendship I have. Games are the social lubricant that introduced me to people I would have never otherwise met, and given me opportunities I would have otherwise missed. Video games are how I met my friends in high school. Warhammer is how I met my friends in college. Rogue Trader RPG started one of my first adult game groups, and it introduced me to some of my closest adult friends. And through the game of Dungeons & Dragons, I met my partner. COVID-19 has certainly disrupted a lot of plans in 2020. When times get tough like this, I think it shows the importance of things that create community, forge friendships, and build support groups, even if those groups are not meeting around the table. When a plan falls apart, it will likely delay our goals, and this is frustrating. But having a group of people who will support you while you reevaluate your plan to achieve your goals is paramount. These relationships will help us to refocus and give us new perspective on purpose. During my time off, COVID was hardly the only news that hit headlines. During my break from YouTube, the tragic news surrounding the death of George Floyd broke. It's easy to become callous by this news and see George Floyd as just another victim in our country's long history of racial injustice. Yet, he is more than a statistic, and we need to remember real lives are being ruined by a pandemic that has plagued our country for far too long. There seems to be a changing narrative of racism and how it's addressed in our country. And yet, this is just another example of how broken our status quo has become. This tragedy and the events that follow it got me thinking about how games have affected my personal life and the amazing support groups games have helped me build. As I've said, games are a huge part of my life and extremely important to me. It saddens me to think that perhaps the gaming community isn't as welcoming or inviting to others as it was to me. Our games, the companies who make them, and the communities who embrace them are a small part of a larger conversation, but still a conversation close to my heart. Seeing the online reactions of Warhammer is for Everyone and Wizards of the Coast revising D&D lore has had me thinking about the impact our games have on our daily lives. To some, our hobby may seem weird or even childish, but to its fans, these worlds have huge sway. For me, this break has given me time to regroup and refocus on what Table Ready Gaming channel can be and how I can go forward building it. When I started Table Ready Gaming, I originally planned on making a channel that showed people how to paint, build, and get games ready for the tabletop. But in my months off from YouTube, my perspective has shifted, and I realized our hobby is so much more than plastic, glue, and paint. When I started Table Ready Gaming, I thought to myself, I'd make a channel that highlights the escapism of our hobby and ignores the problems of our daily lives. But this mindset undervalues the hobby and the power it has. The conversations about race, inclusion, and diversity are conversations too big for our hobby to ignore, especially when gaming is so equipped to help bridge this divide. We need to start pulling down barriers that make our community unwelcoming. And the first step to this is accepting that those barriers do in fact exist. We can't allow nostalgia and fear of change to stand in our way. Once again, it's time for a change of plans. Gaming is a community of people where everyone should feel welcome. Gaming is a tool to learn that we have more in common with others than we think. And finally, gaming is an opportunity to see an opponent as a player and a friend. I hope in a small way Table Ready Gaming isn't just building a channel, but highlighting a community that welcomes, supports, and celebrates members from diverse backgrounds in all walks of life. While the gaming community has a long way to go, and these conversations we're having are only a beginning, I would like to think through shared interest and entertainment, we can start down a path of shared empathy and understanding. I never planned to make this video, and even when I sat down to write the script, I wasn't sure how it would come out or what I would say, or even if it would still be timely. Well, all I knew was that saying nothing simply wasn't an option. I guess in life, when plans fall apart, we need not despair. Don't confuse plans with goals. Plans aren't the desired outcome, but simply the means to get there. When life throws a wrench in your plans, it's okay to take a break and refocus on your goal. If it's a goal worth achieving, then you will be willing to continue the fight. The goal of improving our hobby with inclusion of diverse perspectives, voices, gamers, and viewpoints is worth fighting for. Inclusion and diversity will make our hobby more captivating. Inclusion and diversity will make our industry more substantial. Inclusion and diversity will make our community stronger. But planning isn't enough. Now is also a time for action. Leaders in our industry have taken the first steps, but we are far from finished. Like how a goal without a plan is simply a dream, a plan without action is simply an abandoned proposal. If you agree with me that making our gaming community inviting to anyone who wants to participate is a goal worth pursuing, then I offer the simple plan. Stop sitting idle and simply engage. Welcome new people to the table. Listen to people who are struggling to be heard. Empathize with folks who feel ignored. Don't be afraid to leave your comfort zone and show anyone who wants to participate why our games are worth playing and why our hobbies are worth enjoying, and welcome them into the fold. This plan is simple, but surely not easy. Adversity and complications will arise. This plan will require adaptation. This plan may morph into something totally different for you. But if you stay true to yourself and stay focused on the values of these goals, then your journey of personal growth will evolve into something better than you could have ever planned.